Hi Stampers, this is Kim with Great Inspirations, and today we are going to do a special edition of Stamp Happy Holidays. This is Stamp Happy Halloween. Now I know some of you do not celebrate Halloween or might not make Halloween cards, but what we're going to talk about today can be used for cards for any occasion. Another thing that's a little different about this video is I'm going to talk about a product. Now, I am not affiliated with this product or any company in one way or the other, not at all. I receive absolutely no compensation for this. This is just something I came across a few months ago and I enjoyed using it and I thought you might too. And that product is called Neon Glossy Gel, and it's by Lisa Horton Crafts. And it comes in 8 colors. They're all very nice and bright, very neon-like, as you can see. This one is called Apple, and it is very green. But I have used this to create these 6 cards. Now I have used different colors, and I will show you. Here are the colors. These are just some swatches I did real quick. This one is a nice bright pink, and it's called Blossom. And this one is Cherise. It is a purpley pink. And then we have Lemon Peel, which is yellow. This is Marmalade, so it's a little deeper yellow getting towards orange. This is the Apple. And this green is called Malachite. This is called Summer Sky. It's a very nice blue. And then Lilac. And these swatches is what it looks like on white cardstock. And then here are the same on the dark cardstock. So I've used some with stencils on some of these cards, and some of them I just did like I did for the swatches. I just smoothed it onto some white cardstock, let it dry, and then stamped on it, like right here, and cut it out and used them as elements. Or like here's the stenciling, and here's another one where I just put the gloss on the cardstock, let it dry, stamped, and then cut out the images. And this one, it was through a stencil, but then I just used some of the dots from the stencil for some embellishments. And this one, I like the stencil, but this is when I discovered you need to be very careful sometimes to get your good coverage, or use a stencil that's tighter, that the design is tighter, sometimes works. That's just was my experience, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later. But perhaps the thing about these that my grandchildren like the most is these will glow in the dark. And I tried every way I could to figure out how I could get this room dark enough to show you how these glow in the dark. Dark enough without me having to be down here at like 3 in the morning trying to film in the dark. But what I have done is on my corresponding blog post for this video, which there is a link in the description of the video where it will take you to that blog post, you can see the pictures that I took of these glowing in the dark. I held them up to the light. I went into my tiny closet in my craft room and I took pictures. But another thing, I had these cards on my coffee table in the living room, and you know, we just had regular light on in the evening. I'd gone to bed about 10, but I woke up with a tickle in my throat about 11:30, and I went out to the kitchen. Now we have an open floor plan, so I could see the coffee table, and there was this glow, and I went over there, and these cards were just glowing like crazy. And that was an hour and a half after I'd gone to bed. So I thought, oh, I guess they, you know, the glow in the dark lasts for a while. But I do have, if I can find it on my phone, I'm going to see how this works. We'll start with this card. I'll show you what it looks like. Well, yeah, you should be able. Now this isn't very good because these are a lot greener in person. They're showing up, from what I can see, it's a little bit on the white side. But they do glow. They definitely glow, and you can kind of see where the witch is. And then let's see, the monster, or the, what is that, the zombie? Okay. And here he is. And this light right here is where the little bubble right here was reflecting onto the top of my file cabinet that's in my closet, because that's where I set these on top of my file cabinet to take the pictures. So there's the mummy one. Now we have the three little ghosts. Let me see. And here they are. As you can see, everything behind them is glowing. You can make out the boo because it's dark, and you can make out the ghost. And this is that the marmalade, and it really does glow quite green. And then we have the ghost. I think this was my favorite one. Let me see here now. I've got to turn it this way. Oh, there it goes. There it is, glowing in the dark. Now, the Happy Halloween, that is cardstock that has like glow-in-the-dark properties. I got it a couple years back. Stampin' Up! Had it. But last year I found some online, and I really didn't find any this year. There were a lot of glow-in-the-dark papers and things, though, that might work. But anyway, there that is. As you can see, that's the yellow and the blue. Now, the blue, the summer sky, it's really pretty, I think, in the dark. That's the lilac. And then, of course, that is the blossom. And there is the apple. And the little stars, I just punched them out of scraps from what I cut the ghost out of. And now we have the witch, the little witch hat there. Oh, I think oh, there it is. And here's that one. You can sort of see, at least in person, like I said, this is very bright green, and I know it's not really showing up, well, at least on my screen on my camera, it's not really showing up. It's showing up kind of white, but it's very bright green, and you can kind of see the outline and the shadow of the witch's hat in real life. So then, which one do we have? We have the little one with the raven or crow. Okay. And here it is. And in person, it's really great too, because this looks like it's glowing behind the bubbles there. And you can, like I said, in person, you can make out the cauldron and the crow. So that is sort of how they look in the dark, as best as I could get to you. But we'll put these away for just a minute, and I'll tell you a little bit about how I use them, because they are a lot like an embossing paste, and actually they're just like I think they're called a texture gel, and it's glossy. So a couple things you'll want to keep in mind. Cover up your work surface, number one, because it could get messy, and you really want to not let this stuff set very long, because you might have a hard time getting it off of your workspace or your tools or anything else that it is on. And then you want to use a palette knife, whatever kind you like. I prefer this one usually. And you can, like I say, just put it on the cardstock, or you can use a stencil. So I have a little stencil right here. I think it's called Twinkle. It's from Tim Holtz, Stampers Anonymous. And let me see if I have a little something to hold it down. We'll use some mint tape. Just kind of tack it down a little bit. And what you do, I'm gonna roll my sleeves up a little bit. We're just going to open this up, and there is a foil piece right here, and as you can see, I've kind of messed it up, but it'll be okay. you just get your gel paste. Now I will also tell you this has a bit of a scent. And when I say scent, I mean odor. But it's not noxious. It's not like a solvent. It's just an odor. But it's not bad. You know, you get used to it in a couple seconds and you're fine. But it does have that. And all you have to do is just like we do with embossing paste. Just spread it on. Like so. And you can always add more and go back over it. But that is all there is to it. And, you know, we could do the whole page, but I think we'll just stop there. And you can get a feel for how it looks, and it's wet, so you can dry it. Now, I dried it a couple of the pieces I dried with my heat tool, but most of them I just let dry, air dry, and it took, I don't know, a few hours, maybe 2, 3. But some of them I just did one day and came down here and they were ready. So over here, I have my little tub of water, and I've just put a couple drops of dish soap in it. And I'm going to let that just soak until I can clean it up, and then all that will just clean right off. So we'll just put that back over there. And now, like I said, the other thing, which is super simple, you just take you some and just spread on your cardstock. And the thinner you get it, the quicker it will dry. But if you want it to be really thick, that's fine too. It'll just take a little while to dry. But there you go. Like I said, it's just like an embossing paste or a texture paste. Just use your palette knife and spread it right on your paper. Or like I say, use it through a stencil. And I'm sure you guys are very creative. I bet you'll find other ways to use it. But I like these because the colors are just so bright and vivid. And I thought, you know, perfect for kid cards, especially at Halloween because of the glow in the dark. But actually, kids like glow in the dark any time of year. But also, I think that cards for anybody, I wanted to show you some of the samples. Here's that lemon peel. And it made a really pretty background. I liked it on the white. But this is the Blossom. Very nice, bright pink. And this is on a dark blue called, oh, I've got that on my fingers. Let's wash that off. I always have a paper towel close by. But this is the lilac on, let me think of the name. Secret Sea. It's a very dark blue cardstock from Stampin' Up. And I don't know, it's pretty, but I think I would have liked it on a lighter piece of cardstock. And here's that blue. This is very pretty. And you put this in the dark and, you know, have the light on it, then put it in the dark. Oh, it is so pretty. And I just think that would be a pretty design on any card for anyone. Now, this one I am not too thrilled with. And it's more to do with the stencil. The stencil had a lot of little pointed edges, and it just didn't do as well. And it could have been, you know, my technique as well. But I've torn the paper in a few places. And honestly, this was the first one I did using when I was learning how to use these. And then let me show you this one. This one, I used the stencil of this woodland area. And it looks pretty nice right now that I'm looking at it on the camera. But in real life, you can't, it's hard to make out what it is. And just as I've been practicing with these, I've found that stencils that have a tighter design, like this, small, and all these four, any four of these, for me, they seem to work better. The Twinkle one, the Tim Holtz ones that I just used, it worked fine too. But it just seemed like anything that had bigger spaces, I just had problems with it. But, you know, that could be just me. But I really did enjoy using it with the stencils with the tighter designs. And I thought they looked really pretty. And I will make cards out of these someday. So let's bring back in these cards. There's the little ghost, the hat. There's the, I like him too, the crow there, or the raven. And our Boo, little zombie, and the witch. And like I said, this is just something I just wanted, if you weren't aware of it, I just wanted to let you know about it. On my corresponding blog post, there's a link to where I bought it. And there's also a picture of all the different colors and that kind of thing. So if you're looking for something a little different for Halloween cards or kid cards, or really cards for anybody, you might want to give that a try. Well, thank you for joining me for this Stamp Happy Halloween edition of Stamp Happy Holidays. Until next time, Stamp Happy!